Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Becky Shapiro. I guide women on their spiritual path, helping them to connect to their intuition and navigate their healing journey. Before I get started today, let's get you out of your head. Okay, so start with some deep breaths for me. Nice long inhales. Nice long exhales. And as you continue to breathe deeply, I want you to bring your energy from your head down into your heart space. So you can just visualize that. You can use intention, whatever works for you. We're going to listen and feel from the heart. All right, continue to breathe deeply for me, and let's get started. So as we move through life and our day, we are either in our masculine or our feminine energy. You can never be in both at the same time. It is always one or the other. Now, some out there can flow easily between the two, which is the best way to work with these energies. But for the majority of the population, whether you identify as male or female, we tend to be stuck in our masculine, the doing, taking action energy. This creates problems for you at all levels, even if you are a man. My husband and I, we were talking recently about the Olympic gymnasts. Male gymnasts last into their late 20s, right? But for the majority of the females, they tend to give it up in their late teens or early 20s. Why? Because they know what they're doing to their bodies and how unhealthy it is. In order to win medals, your life is training. It's incredibly masculine oriented. Women who exercise and train like this on a regular basis, like cross-country runners, they have no menstrual cycle. I remember as a teenager hearing from one of my dance friends, who was also on the track team, that her period hadn't started yet. This overly masculine training changed her physical body. There needs to be a flow of masculine and feminine energy and activities through your day in order for you to be healthy physically, emotionally, and mentally. Just like it's healthy for our nervous system to move back and forth between the states. The sympathetic nervous system is tied to the masculine energy, and the parasympathetic is tied to the feminine. We need both. Female gymnasts eventually get to a point in their life where they may want to get married or have a child. They want to experience proper flow, whether they consciously know it or not. So they end up leaving the sport younger than the males. So what are these energies that I'm talking about? Well, almost 2 years ago now, the universe kept sending me signs to learn about feminine energy. I'd never heard of it before, even though I'd been an energy healer for 13 years. So I started digging into what it was, both online and through channeled information, connecting to my guides. The masculine side of you is what inspires you to take action, to give, to think. It's what keeps you in that go-go mode to get things done. Feminine energy is what allows you to be, to rest, to relax, receive, absorb, heal, and create. If you're like I was at the time, you may be realizing that you spend very little time in your feminine energy or doing feminine-oriented activities. And it's not your fault. There is absolutely no blame or judgment directed at you. We currently live in a very masculine-oriented society. We're programmed from childhood to get up early, go to school or daycare, be busy all day, and then come home and be busy with our family. This follows us into adulthood with full-time jobs, replacing school, and so many adult responsibilities that get added to your plate, especially if you have a partner and or children. Society has trained us to be busy all day long. Throw in our advanced technology and social media at this time, and even our downtime on devices is no longer relaxing. Constantly living in this go mode, this masculine energy, it's trained our bodies and our minds to constantly be in fight or flight. our nervous system is stuck in this sympathetic state, the masculine side. So if you have trouble falling asleep or sleeping, losing weight, focusing, taking deep breaths, relaxing your muscles, all of that could be traced back to your nervous system permanently stuck in fight or flight. Now, there may be more to the story for you. I experienced some trauma at the age of 7 that completely disconnected me from my feminine side and energy. For my safety, at the time, all conscious memories of the event were suppressed. It wasn't until 3 years ago, when I took myself out of constant fight or flight, that nudges of the experience started to surface for me. So what's wrong with being more in your masculine energy? And again, this has nothing to do with male or female or being more manly. Being more in the masculine simply refers to the types of activities that you allow into your day, how many of them there are, and how fast you're trying to accomplish them. Sometimes we need this push, this motivation to finish projects or to get our work done. There's nothing wrong with being in your masculine energy. The problem happens when we are only in our masculine energy or in it too much of the day. Besides what I mentioned earlier about the possible weight gain, distraction, trouble sleeping, if we never allow ourselves to just slow down and receive, we miss out on a lot of beneficial information and guidance from our own body, our intuition, and our divine team. And you are most likely exhausted from being in survival mode all the time. I know I was. Chances are you're not completely happy, even if you are highly successful in your career or have an amazing partner, simply because you're not making time to slow down and feel the happiness or to celebrate the successes. They don't mean a whole lot if we're not actually experiencing them. You hear about parents who overwork themselves and burn themselves out to provide more than enough for their families, who really just want to spend time with them. They are missing out on those high vibrational emotions like joy because they are overwhelmed and burned out from giving to their career. They come home and they have nothing left for their loved ones. For me, I had to reconnect my feminine and masculine energies. I had to do healing work with my feminine side, who had been locked in the closet for 40 years because it wasn't safe for me to receive. Now, this is an extreme case and not necessary for everyone. But because my masculine side was always in charge, my energy was very much out of balance. It meant I couldn't allow myself to receive. I wasn't connected to my intuition. I didn't know how to feel or feel fully. I was depleting myself because I was always giving. It also prevented me from experiencing happiness fully or feeling fulfilled. Something was clearly missing. I was never going to be connected to myself or the divine without this balance of energy. You may have balanced masculine and feminine energy, but sometimes spend too much time in one or the other. If you are too much in your feminine, this can bring you into a depressed state or cause you to procrastinate too much, never getting done what needs to be done. Maybe you have an important project you're trying to finish or a family event coming up, and this is causing you to spend too much time in your masculine energy. You could be stressed out, feeling overwhelmed or drained. Now, moms in general tend to be in fight or flight because they do so much for their family. They overgive. They're stuck in this cycle because they feel guilty when they don't overgive. I've been hearing the term mental load used a lot on TikTok lately as women describe what it's like to be a mom today. Not only do we carry a lot of the nitty-gritty tasks around the house, but we also carry the mental weight of planning for things and remembering to do them or making sure they get done. For example, if my son has a Boy Scout meeting on Monday night at 7, a lot goes through my mind. Is his Scout shirt clean? He's going to need to wear it. If we have to leave the house by 6:45 to get there in time, we have to be eating dinner by 6:15 at the latest, which means deciding what time to start the meal depending on what it is. Having a quick, easy meal is best, so what should we eat that night? And this is just a simple example. It can get way more complicated for parents. But women carry this mental load for the family. They just do. And as a parent, I had to let go of a lot of mom guilt and beliefs, like I was being selfish if I made time for myself, or I have to put my family first all the time. But if that's you, I guarantee you're not completely happy. There's a part of you that is screaming to be heard. You may be experiencing physical symptoms like back pain or headaches. That's your inner voice trying to get your attention, trying to get you to understand you have to make time for yourself. You have to spend time in feminine energy to be healthy. Wanting some alone time to do whatever the hell you want is not selfish. It does not make you a bad parent or partner. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The more we allow ourselves to tune into our body, mind, and spirit, the more we will understand what we need or what we're meant to do. This allows us to be happier and to give from a space that is less depleted, a fuller cup. It means our family, loved ones, or coworkers are going to get the best version of us. It also allows us to tap into our creativity. You have to be in receptive mode for a creative flow. Most of what we do in our day is considered more masculine oriented. So let's talk about what you can do that allows you to connect with your feminine side. Spending time in nature and actually connecting to it. So that doesn't look like listening to a podcast while you tune out the nature around you on your walk. You would want to look at, touch, listen to the nature. Allow yourself to receive the grounding effects by being tuned into the earth. Walking barefoot and tree hugging actually have benefits, but you can always adapt them to what feels good for you. I may not hug a tree, but I might spend a few minutes touching a tree trunk while I allow myself to connect to its energetic heartbeat. You want to try things that allow you to feel versus think. So doing some deep breathing exercises and noticing how the air feels as it goes in and out of your lungs. Tuning into what you notice in your different body parts. What feels good and what is tight. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Becky, I can't sit still and just breathe or try to meditate, which is also another fabulous feminine activity. My son and I were just discussing this the other day. I know a lot of people are going to get distracted during a feminine-oriented activity. It's because you don't allow yourselves to do it on a regular basis. So just because you find your mind wandering while you meditate or breathe deeply does not mean you're doing it wrong, or that it's not having any benefits for you. The more you practice, the easier it will get. You could pull out a journal and brain dump what you're feeling. You can dig into the why of it. You can allow yourself to sit and do absolutely nothing. That's really hard for most people. And part of it is because many of us are afraid of our thoughts. We would rather distract ourselves without than spend quality time going within. Going within sounds scary and uncomfortable. And honestly, it can be. It's what allows you to surface what is really wrong in your life and what healing you might need to move forward, what you might need to let go of. An activity where you just allow creativity flow connects you with your feminine side as well. Some examples might look like turning on some music and just allowing your body to move in the way that feels good. You could pull out a piece of paper and some paints or a pencil and just start drawing with no goal in mind. Maybe you play an instrument and there's one piece that you know so well that you can play it automatically and it takes you to another place. Stretching or yoga, when done in a way that allows you to listen to your body, helps connect you to yourself and your feminine side. And I know some of you right now are thinking, Becky, I don't do any of these things and I don't feel like I have time to do them. I totally hear you. That was me before I resigned from my teaching career that required me to be in masculine energy all day long. That's why you'll want to start small with something that you consider easy enough to try and fit into your schedule. Another important point is that you don't want to spend the whole day doing masculine activities and then come home and try to do the feminine or try to squeeze them in. There has to be more of a flow. So what this might look like for you is planning and scheduled breaks through your day that allow you to experience feminine energy, even if it's just for a few minutes. So maybe set an alarm to go off halfway through your morning and take a 3-minute break to go outside. At your lunch break, take 5 minutes to tune into your body and breathe properly. Your masculine side may resist in the beginning. It did for me. It's going to tell you that you don't have time, that it is a waste of your time because you have too much to do. And if you really want to harmonize your masculine and feminine energies, you're going to do it anyway. Through the guilt you may have as a parent, through the resentment you may receive from other family members. Because remember, you are not here just to give to others. You are also here to receive. True harmony and true fulfillment can only come from both giving and receiving. Learning how to connect to my feminine side, allow her to lead at times, and doing feminine inner work has completely transformed my healing process. Knowing how to set up my day and transition between masculine and feminine energy activities has brought a happier, healthier flow to my life. Connecting to my divine feminine has allowed me to reconnect to myself and my needs, which in turn has allowed me to start receiving from the divine. It has opened me up to untapped abilities that were always there. If you feel disconnected from your feminine side and would like some more guidance on how to reconnect with her and do the inner healing to harmonize your masculine and feminine energies, I invite you to check out my online class, The Trusted Feminine Divinely Guided. I'll link it for you in the show notes. Let me know if you have any questions about the class or anything I've mentioned today. Contact me if you are interested in setting up a one-to-one session to allow me to give you personal divine guidance on next steps for your healing journey. From my heart and soul to yours, blessings.